Hello guys, today our lecture is based on the topic work, energy and power, and this lecture is dedicated to my ICSE students and for all of you. The topic work, energy and power. Very first we would like to know the meaning of work. What is work? Simply, work is said to be done when force displaces an object. If suppose there is an object and we are exerting a force F on this object, and after some time it displaces from this position to this position, then we can say that work is done. Suppose the displacement is S, so W is given as Fs. Let it be equation 1. So work is said to be done when a force displaces an object. From equation 1, we can say that work is dependent on two factors, namely force and second displacement. From equation 1, we can say that work is 0, means work done is 0 if either S is 0 or F is 0. Okay. Now what unit? SI unit of work is joule, represented by capital J. This unit joule is named after physicist namely James Prescott Joule. From equation 1 we can define the unit joule. So 1 joule from equation 1 joule will be equivalent to 1 Newton, and 1 meter means when a force of 1 Newton is exerted on this object, and suppose the displacement is here 1 meter, then the work done is equivalent to 1 joule. Now work is also a scalar quantity. It has only magnitude but no direction of its own. Now we will see expression for work done. Suppose this is the initial position of an object when we are exerting a force in horizontal direction. Then after some time we observe that this object reaches this point, and suppose we are taking this right angle triangle. Due to directional force, this one is angle theta, so this will become cos S cos theta, because this is S. So W is equal to F into S cos. इससे बेहतर नहीं होगा cos थीटा. Now expression of work done. Now expression for work done. Suppose there is an object at this position and we are exerting a force in this direction F, and after some time this object reaches this position, and suppose we are taking this as this triangle we are taking, this will be S, and this angle is theta, so this will become S cos theta. Here theta is the angle between the direction of force and displacement of the body. So W equals F into S cos theta. This is our equation 2. And we have seen just right now equation 1 just before that is W equal to Fs. W equal to Fs is a special case of this equation when cos theta, the value of cos theta becomes 1 and W becomes Fs. Now see the types of work done. First is positive work done. In this case, theta is acute. Then negative work. In this case, theta is obtuse, or you can say that is lies between -90° and 180°. Then zero work. Right now we have seen also zero work means what? Zero work is when theta is equal to 90°, work done is zero. And here theta is what? Theta is the angle between force and displacement. There is the displacement, there is the force. This one is the angle, that is theta. In this case, theta is acute. So W to F is cos theta. So equation, we can say that equation 1 is a special case of equation 2. When cos theta becomes 1, W becomes Fs. So from this equation, we can say that it depends on three factors, namely force, displacement, and theta is the angle between the direction of force and displacement. Special case. First, when an object is falling freely from a certain height, suppose there is an object at this position A and it is falling down towards the earth. This point B, suppose B, this point where it reaches. So here, this force exerting on this object is what? That is weight, mg. The outward force is weight, that is mg. And let it the distance of this will be h. So W becomes mgh. W becomes mgh. M is mass. G is acceleration due to gravity. And h is the height of the object from the surface. Or you can say here, work done is equal to mgh. Here, mg stands for weight and h is the vertical height. If suppose the angle between work done, let angle between direction of force and displacement is 90°, then W equals Fs cos theta. The value of cos theta will put here. We know that cos theta, here we know cos theta cos 90° is equal to what? 0. So Fs into 0. So work done will be equal to 0. Number third, if suppose there is an object lying on the surface or under surface, we are exerting a force F on that side. But suppose the object comes here, which is here, after exerting the force in that direction, it is coming in this direction. Means what? The angle between these two, that is theta, is equal to 180°. So here theta is equal to 180°. Putting in this equation, W equals Fs cos theta, W equals Fs cos 180. We know that cos 180 is equal to what? -1. So cos 180, putting value, W equals -Fs. So So the work done is here. We are exerting force on that direction, but the object moves in another direction, in the opposite direction, just like friction and motion. Right now we have seen unit of work is joule. Other most common units are, this is the SI unit is joule. CGS unit is earth. Now we will need to establish the relationship between this unit and this unit. Means the relationship between SI unit and CGS unit of work done. So see here, relationship between SI and CGS unit. You know that 1 joule equals 1 Newton meter. Converting this Newton into CGS, you know that there is current for 10⁵ dyne for 1 meter, and converting this meter into centimeter, we know it is 100 centimeter. So we can write 10⁵ centimeter. That is incorrect. So we can say 10⁵ dyne centimeter, and that is equal to 10⁵ earth. This dyne centimeter is known as earth. So 1 joule equals 10⁵ earth. Here we have seen the relationship between 1 joule and earth, that is 1 joule is equal to 10⁵ earth. Just before we have discussed the definition of 1 joule, similarly we can say the definition of 1 earth. So 1 earth means what? When a force of 1 dyne, the force of 1 dyne displaces an object and the displacement is 1 centimeter. So 1 earth equals 1 dyne centimeter. After saying about work, we will now jump to the next topic, that is energy. So energy is simply, what do we know about energy? It is capacity to do work. Capacity to do work is known as energy. Its SI unit, say that is joule. CGS, earth. And now we will see the types of energy. First one, kinetic energy. And second, potential energy. First we'll see kinetic energy here. Kinetic energy is the energy possessed due to motion. Simply, means a moving vehicle possesses kinetic energy. Each and everything that is in motion have kinetic energy. It is represented by K or KE, you can say, both you can use K or KE. Its mathematical expression is half mv square. So Ke equals half mv square, where m is mass of body, v is velocity of body. Now we need to derive this equation half mv square, how it comes. So very first here we will consider an object that is initially at rest, and after some time it goes with a certain velocity v. So we consider that over here. Very first we know force is given by the second equation, that is F equal to ma. Suppose we are assuming it to be equation 1. Also we know that from third equation of motion we can write v square minus u square by 2a is equal to s. Equation 2. right now we have seen that work done is equal to F into S. Now putting the values of F and S from equation 1 and 2 in this equation supposedly, we will get the relationship between work done and the velocity and the units. So here W equals Fs is the expression 3. Now putting the value F is equals ma from equation 1. Now from equation 2, S is equal to what? V square minus U square by 2a. A gets cancelled, so it becomes m. V square minus U square. Now it is 2 here. Since we have assumed that U is 0 here, so this equation becomes W equals m V square minus 0 by 2. So it becomes W equals half mv square, and we know that work is equivalent to energy. So work, we can write this as energy equals half mv square, and this energy is known as kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Equation 4 is the required expression that we are seeing right now. Now we need to establish the relationship between linear momentum that we have discussed, or simply we can write momentum, and kinetic energy. So we know that momentum is simply the product of mass and velocity. So T equals mv, equation 1. Right now we have seen kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, equation 2. From equation 1, we can write P by M is equal to 3. Now let equation 3. Putting this value of V in equation 2, we get, putting the value of V in equation 2, we get what we get. So kinetic energy is equal to half m v square. Instead of this v, we can write p by m whole square. So this will become p square by m square. This square gets cancelled. So kinetic energy is equal to what? P square by 2m. This is the relationship, or you can simply say it as Ke into 2m is equal to p square, or you can say p is equal to root under 2mke. This is the final expression, equation 4, that gives the relationship between linear momentum and kinetic energy. Now we see different forms of kinetic energy. Translational kinetic energy, rotational kinetic energy, and vibratory or vibrational kinetic energy. Translation means simply linear, means if an object is moving in straight path, then the kinetic energy of the body is translational kinetic energy. So simply the object is moving in linear path, in a straight line. In rotational kinetic energy, object is rotating around a fixed axis, and the kinetic energy that it possesses is rotational kinetic energy. This in rotation. Rotational form. And vibrational kinetic energy, in this type of energy, an object just vibrates in to and fro manner. Just like this, suppose it's an object, it vibrates to and fro along the way. So to and fro. This is the manner in which it moves. So vibrational kinetic energy is just to and fro motion. This object is vibrating here in a to and fro manner, and the energy that it possesses is vibrational kinetic energy. Now there is one more thing that is very important: work energy theorem. So you see the mathematical expression, work energy theorem, W equals half mv square minus half mu square. This is a mathematical expression for work energy and work energy theorem. According to this theorem, work done in a moving body is equal to the increase in kinetic energy. So W equals half mv square minus half mu square, where v is the final velocity and u is the initial velocity of object. And when this initial velocity is 0, so it becomes W equals kinetic energy. Now we'll see about potential energy after seeing the kinetic energy. Potential energy is the energy possessed in a body due to its position at a certain height, or you can say the size, shape, or configuration. So potential energy is energy possessed due to position, shape, size, or you can say configuration. It is represented by U, alphabet U here, and the unit is same, that of energy, that is joule. Now we'll see the types. First is elastic potential energy, and second is gravitational potential energy. In elastic potential energy, suppose often you are playing with rubber bands etc. at your home or in schools with your friends. So just imagine elastic potential energy. What is the main function of this? If suppose if you have used catapult somewhere, and suppose this is the catapult here. If I stretch this band, then the more I stretch, the more it will store energy. So just, or you can say a spring. If you stretch a spring, then it has more potential energy than the original configuration. Okay, and I just have talked about catapult. Means just if here is the string and just stretching this band, then the more I stretch, the more will be the potential energy. Gravitational potential energy just tells us about the position of an object from the ground level. Suppose this object lies at this place, and if I will move this object from this place to this place, then some amount of work needs to be done to move this object from this position to this position, and the difference is known as the potential energy. Just you can see here. Suppose an object is lying here at ground floor. This is the ground surface, and we need to move this object. And the third floor, this is the third floor here. Suppose this object, the same object is here also. So the difference is based due to this H. Means you need to do some work to move this object from this position to this position, and that is governed by W equals mgh, and this W is equivalent to potential energy. So the mathematical expression of potential energy is mgh, where m is mass of the body, g is acceleration due to gravity, whose value is fixed 9.8 meter per second, but it varies sometimes. Means in different places the value of g is different, and h is the height. Our next topic is power. We have seen energy. We have seen just right now energy. The capacity to do work is energy, and the rate of doing work is known as power. So power is rate of doing work. As a unit is watt. It is named after James Watt, a physicist, James Watt. Now its mathematical expression. P equals W by T, Here W is work done, T is the time, so 1 watt equals 1 joule per second. From this equation, we can say the definition of 1 watt. When 1 joule of work is done in 1 second, then the power is 1 watt. Now, right now, we have seen W is equal to Fs and P is equal to W by T. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. Putting the value of W from equation 1 in 2, we are getting P is equal to Fs by T. Then P is equal to Fv, because S by T is equal to V, that is displacement by time is equal to velocity. So P is equal to Fv is another expression of power. Now power is also a scalar quantity. Now other most commonly used units of power include megawatt, that is equal to 10 to the power 6 watt, microwatt 10 to the power minus 6 watt, milliwatt 10 to the power minus 3 watt, and one more that is very famous, HP, that is equal to 746 watt, or you can say is equivalent to 0.746 kilowatt. So these are the other units in which we describe power. Now we'll see the other units of energy that we use. Other units of energy. Commercial unit of energy is kWh. kWh stands for kilowatt hour. And 1 kWh is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. And this is the relationship between the commercial unit of energy and the SI unit of energy, that is kWh and joule. And this kWh is known as 1 unit of electricity that we are using at our house. So 1 unit of electricity means 1 kWh. This word often you will see in your electric meter that is located at your house. So 1 kWh equals 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. Now we need to see the relationship, that is very simple. 1 kWh is simply 1000 watt into hour, 1 hour. So 1000 watt. And we know that in 1 hour there are 60 into 60 seconds. So 1000 into 60 into 60 1 second, that is 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule, and here it is 1 kWh. Now other most common unit is 1 eV, that is electron volt. 1 eV equals 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Other units, 1 MeV means what? 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 13 joule. Here M stands for mega electron volt. 1 electron volt is the energy gained by an electron when it is accelerated through a potential difference of 1 volt. Here 1 eV is simply nothing but the charge 1 electron or charge on an electron and 1 volt. We know that charge on an electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb into 1 volt. So we will get 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule, which is the required relationship between electron volt and joule. 1 calorie equals 4.18 joule. Approximately we can write it as 4.2 joule, or just inverse we can say 1 joule equals 0.24 calorie. And this is also correct. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you like it. Do watch and leave your comments regarding this lecture.